a best of one, so they have to just get the victory in the first place, Itsu. Looks like we did have some lightning spells into the bottom area of the base with the Royal Champion taking out that area. Looks like there was a an Inferno Tower in there, but the Royal Champion does remain standing.
Yep, that's true. He used the Royal Champion trick, which basically means it's an Earthquake and a Lightning spell to make sure that we are hitting this Inferno Tower and taking that down early. And now we're standing in the Electro Dragons on the complete opposite side of that Town Hall, especially with having on the back end always a Tornado Trap. This is kinda scary with having the Town Hall so far back. So let's see how exactly he's trying to handle that. He's investing a lot of freezes just to make sure that the enemy super minions cannot hit his Electro Dragons that hard with the freezes onto the Inferno Tower. And now his heroes getting started. There is still a lot of things, and now with the blimp right into that Tesla farm. And it looks like the blimp is having huge problems, but is reaching that Town Hall compartment.
It reaches there. Unfortunately, he has some Yetis in order to try and bounce the Town Hall, but he misses it. Oh no, hopefully he can get any sort of damage onto it because it has a slither of health right now. But I was a little bit confused as to where he was going to bring the Battle Blimp, given that the Air Sweeper is just continually pushing the E-Dragons back. And it doesn't look like he can do anything here, Itsu. Maybe he can tank the Archer Tower and send the Sneaky Goblins in to get the Town Hall. I think that's the only play.
Yeah, Sneaky Goblins in, making sure they can get the town. The town hall's really low, so that should work. And there we go, Sneaky Goblins to save the day and making sure they're not starting off with the 1-star into this competition. So Indian Clashers saving the first attack really nicely. And this is, well, an interesting start, I would say, with the sweeper and everything going against those dragons. Maybe it would have been better to invest another, like, 2 lightnings to take that down. Not really sure, but either way, saving it onto a 2-star is a great move on this one for 11. And now, well, we have the minions and we have the archers doing some cleanup work.
I would agree on the lightnings, Itsu, because I feel like he used a lot of freeze spells for that anyways, whereas the lightning would have just taken it out. I mean, a good play with the archer and the minion to the bottom to try and get a little bit extra percentage. Not sure what I was meaning with the Sneaky Goblins. I know the Town Hall had a tiny little bit of health, so the archer and the minion to the bottom gets him a little bit extra percentage, but this seems to be a theme that we are seeing, that the first attacker is just a little bit nervous in terms of a couple of mistakes, I would feel, and that's where the 3-star was not gained.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising because I feel like the highest hit rate in community leagues normally is always the first attacker. We have always the first attacker going in with some sort of like the first idea of the entire team. So it's like go through the bases, and as soon as someone has an idea, like, okay, you can go first. That's like normally the setup. So whenever you have a good plan, it's the first attack. So that's kind of confusing and completely different to what we normally see in community leagues with this hit rate over the tournament, over the entire tournament basically so far, with the first few attackers always being able to, I don't know, like struggle a little bit against the defense. So let's see if we have Legion Divina being able to change this trend, because they might be one of the first teams to be able to triple in their first attack. So let's see, and exactly let's see what strategy they're going to come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them perform in this tournament. I know, like I was saying, I'm pretty intrigued to see how Indian Clashers and Legion Divina will fare throughout this tournament. But you were talking pretty highly of Legion Divina before the matchup, so I've got my eye on them now, thanks to you, Itzu.
Okay, so let's hope we did not jinx them or anything, because we have the first attack, and this is going to be Queen Charge Hybrid. So they so far were really successful with Inferno Dragons and Queen Charge Hybrid. Those were like their 2 go-to strategies whenever they played any tournaments. So let's see how they're going to do that. And they sometimes really like to use that blimp. So let's see if that's going to be the case, or if this just is meant to be like a funnel option, and as well luring out the clan casting. This is what it looks like so far. Luring out the clan casting nice and early. Now the wall break is targeting that outside wall to make sure this opening is bigger, so the queen can actually get into the base, take down the town hall, and then moving on from there.
I love the precision of this attack, actually. Unfortunate not to get that funnel towards the top with the bowler onto the gold mine and the mortar. Beautiful job funneling the bottom area of the base, luring the clan castle with the hog rider. Interestingly, Cadell from Panama did tell us that really for success, it's all about remaining calm, and I feel like he is doing a great job of doing so, just bringing in Hog Riders here and there to try and snipe defenses. But how many is he going to commit out of the hybrid attack here, Itsu? Because he's only got 5 Hog Riders left. Arguably, he might have some in the siege barracks.
Oh no, this is a huge tornado trap, rotating the queen into the town hall, making sure that he has to freeze that really early on. Otherwise, it might have not even taken a single spell to take that out, but now he has to invest a lot of things. His healers are in danger as well, but he's starting now with that hybrid, making sure it has an easy and nice path into that base. And so far the attack looks really, really solid, especially the second wall break. If you guys saw that at the bottom side into the wizard's house, the queen can keep going, can keep pushing into that multi-inferno tower. But there were 2 black mines hitting those healers, so the queen charge now is way less stronger. The headhunter is trying to help. Meanwhile, we have the hybrid in the core of that base, hitting a couple of spring traps. On the top side, we have that king, we have that P.E.K.K.A. beating on those enemy heroes with the king and the defending royal champion.
So much going on, and I have to say the freeze spell on the single target Inferno to the north was brilliant. Made sure to protect the Grand Warden down to the bottom, and he is giving a HP boost to everything down there. It also meant that the Hog Riders could take that out, but the Tesla farm over to that area of the base is being a little bit troublesome. He's lost the Hog Riders and Miners, so I'm not sure if he has enough force to get through that. He's got the Queen's ability, but it doesn't really look too likely at this stage. Just losing out towards the backside of the base here, Itsu.
I feel like at this point he needs to take down the Dark Elixir drill at like the 8 o'clock side, I would say, just to push his queen inside. So first off, he's using the wall break. He still needs to use the the sneaky goblin to push the queen inside, but I feel like he's not doing it. The queen is going inside on her own, which is great. There's her ability left. She needs to take that with taking down the enemy king. Otherwise, this is going to be close. And the healers, I don't know what the healers are doing. They like this one miner a lot.
Well, it is going to heal the miner up. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, to be fair. Might actually help him get the hero altar there, to be honest. Maybe the queen would have got it, but it's a 94%. Legion Divina taking the lead on percentage after 1 attack each, but it is opening 2 stars again that we see in the tournament. So we will have to see who is the first team to get the 3-star and take the lead on stars.
Yeah, I feel like we keep seeing this trend of the first attack somehow not working. It's kind of surprising seeing that. We already talked about that. So let's hope that the second attack is going to be better from both teams and they can push forward a little bit more. When you talked about the consistency, or like I talked about it with kind of hyping up Legion Divina a little bit, they were so many times the last couple of demo leagues, every single time in the top 5 to top 10 in the rankings. So it's really impressive how consistent they are. So let's see if they can show this somehow in this tournament, because so far, not sure if it's working so great, but now we have the Indian Clashers coming in with another blimp and another tornado trap right next to the town hall.
Well, we have the sneaky goblins being rotated. Hopefully it's not too bad of an issue, but he does decide to use the rage spell there just to assure that he gets the town hall. I'm not sure whether that was a good play or not, because I think he probably would have got it, but you never want to not use it and miss the town hall.
I think it was a brilliant idea to use the rage over there, because the tornado trap kind of like rotated the goblins away from the town hall and kept them on range, so they could not reach their town hall. And with having only so few seconds left of them within their invisibility, I feel like the town hall wouldn't have went down. So I think it was a really good decision to use that. But now with this, only 2 rages left for his queen. And once again, we're having a Queen Charge Lalo with another jump. I feel like this jump nearly always is getting used to jump over those double walls where like nothing is in between, as we can see right in between of the single Inferno Tower and the scatter. And then, I guess, once again, there's going to be the king getting placed and funneled into that multi-Inferno Tower compartment.
Well, this is his favorite attack strategy to use, the Queen Charge Lava Loon. So he is very comfortable with this, using the king, as you mentioned, to try and get into that multi-targeting compartment. There we see the jump spell exactly where you said, on the 2 walls. That forces the queen in towards the center. If he can take all of this down, he has huge amounts of value, and he doesn't then have to deal with the sweepers either for the Lava Loon. We mentioned it's a quick attack, but the queen at the moment stalling time and not going to the center.
Yeah, but she should follow really soon, taking down the scatter, but there's a lot of damage on there. There's one rage missing now. The one rage which he had to use for this enemy town hall and for the enemy sweeper to make sure that it's for the enemy town hall with the sneaky goblins. And now we have the warden ability to tank for the loons and make sure everything is going inside there. We have the king versus royal champ action on the right side, and it feels like the king made sure that the royal champ is losing a ton of hit points.
It's interesting, he still has the super wall breaker. He obviously feels like if he... Oh, I've actually just missed where he deployed it. I was watching the queen. I thought he might have tried to use the super wall breaker to use the jump spell and push the queen further through, but I'm not actually sure it's going to matter, Itsu, because he had the haste spell for the balloons at the back end of the base. They will finish off the defenses, and now it's all about time if they can take out the remaining non-defensive buildings.
The queen is helping. The queen is trying her best to somehow push this through, and this is 10 seconds left with only 3 buildings left. And Judo, this is going to be once again a last second finish for Indian Clashers. Such a great attack, and with this they're pushing ahead, getting the 3-star done with this beauty of an attack. Queen Charge Lalo, it looks just so good in the hands of those pros.
It certainly is, and sometimes towards the end of the attack it's really difficult to see if they are going to manage to take out the buildings. You don't want to jinx people, but it always amazes me how quickly sometimes the buildings go down. I think there was a ton of them left, and within the space of not even 10 seconds, everything swarmed through and finished off the attack, just showing the effectiveness he had throughout that. So as you mentioned, Indian Clashers now taking the lead with the 3 stars. So it's Legion Divina up to try and respond, and we have seen many clans throughout today do so, continue to catch their opponents up. So it is Jose with the Lava Loon himself.
Yeah, this one is going to be another Blizzard Lalo. That's what it looks like. We have only 2 hounds, so this won't be like a crazy hound and into the core of the base with a blimp. I think this will be kind of like a cheap blimp somewhere where he's only going a little bit into the base. Maybe for the town hall, that's what looking like. Because having only 2 hounds, you do not want to do an entire Lalo with only 1 hound, considering this is just a heavy investment. And now the blimp is getting a really great value right there. It should take down the clan castle as well. The enemy royal champion has been taken down as well, and even the clan castle building. That's some great value.
Fantastic stuff. This is his favorite strategy, and he is showing exactly why. Really taking out a lot of value there. Uses the poison spell. Looked like the lava pups were going in the opposite direction, but quickly uses the Valkyrie to pull them over the poison. Hasn't quite taken them down, but it's not going to be too big of an issue. He has direct access now for his heroes in towards the single target Inferno, and you can see how the entire left hand side of the base will now be cut out before he even deploys the Lava Loon.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good so far. Then he can just place the Lalo, I guess, into the eagle. Maybe even the queen is getting the eagle, then he can change the direction. But depending on that, he's going to have to choose where he's coming from. The royal champion is helping to get maybe even the scatter in the core. Oh my god, this invisibility spell is so clever, so nicely done. Another one is getting placed to get the inner core out of the way. And now, as I said, he's starting with that Lalo from the left side. Even took down the queen. He had so much value with those heroes. That was just insane. Really nicely done so far. And now the next hound is going to fly across and going to soak up some traps.
That was incredible, and Jose said that he plays on his phone as well. It always impresses me when people can deploy the troops and spells like this on a tiny little device, or I'm assuming a smaller device than a tablet anyway. We see the Lava Loon deployed from each and every angle here. He has good momentum moving through with Lava Hound still tanking, but there is so many red air bombs hitting the balloons. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference here as long as he can get to that wizard tower.
I think this one hound got chased like by 5 Ratmans or something and taking all of them. Now he has 1 haste left, and I think this is looking really, really good. 50 seconds left as well. The minions are getting hasted into the back end, cleaning everything up, and the last Inferno tower is set to single. So this is no problem whatsoever. Wow. With all of the remaining defense or like buildings being at the bottom side, this should be no problem. And there we go. Legion Divina is showing what they got, and finally they're on the board as well. This is going to be an intense matchup, and I feel like after the first few attacks, those teams are just warming up and just getting ready to show us the showdown of this matchup.
They certainly are. Legion Divina moving ahead on percentage after 2 attacks. It is 1 3-star each. Still 3 attacks to go, so a lot can happen within this matchup. And we have plenty of other exciting ones coming later on today, including one of your favorite matchups towards the end of the day, Itsu. But let's continue to focus on this one. Indian Clashers had the 3-star, but now they know Legion Divina got a 3-star themselves, so they have to continue to keep the momentum moving in their favor.
Yeah, that's right. They need to kind of like push back, because so far the percentage lead which Legion Divina had, we already saw it a couple of times today where the percentage was the deciding factor. So they need to push this on the deciding factor as stars, and make sure they're pushing like further over there. Or obviously they just have to hope or know maybe that the defenses are that strong that they do not need to rely on the percentage, because they have good defense. But now we have the next attack coming in, and this is looking like another blimp for that Town Hall, which people like so much. But with those 2 Tesla coming up, this is really scary. There could be a tornado trap behind that. There could be everything behind that, which you cannot trigger. So let's see if he's going to send in the blimp. Let's see if he's going to risk it all, or maybe he's choosing a different angle.
We will find out momentarily. I think he's going to just react here once his queen decides what she is going to do. Piyush, obviously from India, a player with a lot of experience. He won the ESL Indian 2020 tournament alongside his team, so he knows how to handle himself in a high-pressure situation. With the tornado trap, stalling the queen a little bit here. I thought he might have adapted and tried to funnel the right-hand side to push his queen in, but he's just going to wait of all of the clan castle troops being lured.
So many archers, so many goblins, just to make sure that it's not that easy to lure all of them. And now we have the blimp finally making it to their town hall, but the healers are switching. No healers, come back. We need those healers onto that queen. That would be important. A couple of them are coming back, healing up the queen again. We do not want to lose the queen ability that early. He needs the rage. Make something.
Oh, yes,
make something to keep his queen alive. Where's that rage? He needs to use the rage. Could use the queen ability as well, but normally you do not want to lose that queen ability that early.
She goes down.
And he's even losing the queen. He tried to save her with that warden ability, but now the warden ability is kind of wasted as well.
Nothing going right here. He doesn't have much momentum moving into the base. He does have a jump spell that I thought he might have used, but he managed to open up that compartment with the wall breakers. As everything moves in, I can't really even see what is left. A couple of P.E.K.K.A, but there's nothing else there, really. The healers so far behind. He's already lost so many of them. I'm quite surprised he sent the battle blimp in towards the town hall. I thought he was going to maybe adapt and send it somewhere else, but it just didn't pay off for him. 60% here with the Royal Champion ability still, so looks like he could climb up to the 80% mark, but it's definitely not the 3-star that he would have hoped for.
Yeah, definitely not. And talking about the percentage, we already said they need to get percentage, and now with having such a low percentage tag, this is getting close for them to even rely on percent. So they need to go for stars at this point. They need to take those risky entries and make some risky decisions, because otherwise it could backfire. And right now we can see, as you said, he's slowly getting to this 80% mark, but I don't think it's going to be any more percent than that. We saw in the beginning those Tesla coming out. We already kind of predicted there being the tornado trap and being annoying for the blimp, because we saw so many blimps today trying to get sent to the town hall. And people are trying to defend that, obviously, with one of the strongest traps in the game, which is the tornado trap. And this is what we saw in this attack. With 80%, he's going to finish off this attack. And I think this is pretty solid save, considering how the entry worked.
Yeah, it was definitely tough for him as he was entering into the base, particularly losing that queen as well. I feel like he just then pushed everything into the base itself. And like you said, the 80% 2-star, I think he can be relatively happy with that, given that all of the kind of errors started towards the start of the attack. It does make it harder to fix, obviously, if things go wrong towards the end of the attack. There's always the chance that you will just make it through anyways. But a 2-star 80% means that they kind of keep their average percentage around the same. But Legion Divina could now take the advantage, obviously, by 3-starring.
Yeah, that would be a huge advantage at this point. And like I said, they're a super consistent team, and that's the scary thing about them. They always put up like 13 stars or something. So let's see if they can do it once again, because I feel like right now this would be a solid percentage number. But they're going in now with the Queen Charge Lalo, which is surprising me. Like, I have not seen them doing that too often. I know that for a lot of pros, this is the favorite army to attack because it's just so much fun. You have so much impact on that attack, and the Town Hall should go down over here. The Clan Castles do it as well. So let's see how we can handle this Clan Castle, because this is really, really scary, considering that you have to go in with the Queen Charge. So let's hope that he's handling it correctly and taking those Headhunters and the super minions out quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting to use the Battle Blimp and then decides to Queen Charge from the opposite side of the base, but a good thing about taking out the Town Hall is he can be flexible with his Grand Warden ability during the Lava Loon phase itself. He does have relatively good funneling here for the Queen to just step up to the single target Inferno, then the Archer Queen. Notice the jump spell as well. We are seeing that a lot today with the Queen Charge attacks, and that will allow him into the center where the Scatter Shot and the Sweeper is. So it looks like he's getting pretty good value and pathing to set up this attack.
Yeah, and as I said already earlier, you need to take down this Eagle. Otherwise, you always have the risk of running into the Eagle shooting your healers. And this is like the worst thing to happen. Like, if the Eagle is shooting your healers, then the Queen Charge is not going to last long, and the Queen has to use her ability. Now the Eagle's on the healers, but the King is taking it down, so the Queen and the healers can survive a little bit longer. The Queen is walking around into the core now, taking that ground expo down, but he needs to be worried about the Queen kind of getting distracted by those outside buildings. But I feel like with that jump, it should be enough to lead her into the core, and the Lalo already starting from the 9 o'clock side.
It should be, and I like the fact that he actually walked his Queen around like, oh no, oh, she will go back, what am I thinking? He used the jump spell. I thought he was going to use it earlier on to get the Queen in, but I like that he waited, because now his Lalo doesn't have to deal with as many defenses. It is struggling a little bit with that air sweeper because the Queen didn't get into the center quick enough. There's not a lot to take them down. That one Scatter Shot survives and the Queen goes down. Oh my word. Just as I was saying that, the Queen took all of the damage, and the Grand Warden statue, you mentioned it earlier, was critical there on defense.
Yeah, it's just dealing so much damage to your troops, and this is what we saw over here. He's trying to get more percentage with this wall break. Maybe should have tried to go for the Builder Hut, not sure. Either way, he's going to finish on above 80%, so this is not like too bad, because Indian Clashes so far struggled as well, so this is not the end of the world, not tripling in here, so they're just keep pushing their percentage lead. But at the same time, we saw already a couple of matches where apparently the percentage lead was not that important anymore because the enemy team caught up on stars. So let's hope that they're not like, yeah, relaxing too much and going to triple soon again.
Yeah, because the stars are what matter, and it is neck and neck. It is 7 stars apiece. Legion Divina, like you said, slowly pulling ahead on percentage, but it's really not that big of a deal because we have seen so often today where teams are ahead on percentage, but then lose out on the stars. So both teams in a little bit of a tricky situation here as well, because they've only got the 1 3-star, and they need to try and pick things up, improve their performance to try and push their opponents into a corner so that they will struggle themselves. We are seeing a couple of little mistakes coming in this war. So if you could get a 3-star, you're more likely to make your opponent do that again.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to pressure your opponents so they're doing more mistakes. That's like the key thing right now. So let's see if Indian Clashers can do it, if they can like get themselves out of this tricky situation where they have less percentage and kind of pressure the enemy team again. And this is going to be the attack with super witches and only 4 healers. So he's bringing a ton of Coco Loons, and he's bringing even a Yeti to make sure that everything is found correctly.
Yeah, he only has 6 lightning spells, decides to use all of them actually in that area to get the Inferno Tower and the Expo. I'm not sure whether he wanted to save one of those, but he's definitely taken out the area in front of the Grand Warden and setting up the funnel for the Super Witches to go directly into the Town Hall, but I'll be interested to see what's inside that clan castle.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of those lightnings because obviously, like pro player and everything, it's like the little things which counts, right? And taking a look at the pathing of that defending queen, he could have used the lightnings to at least damage her. Obviously, 6 lightnings won't take out a max queen, but it would damage her, which is less HP later on, which you have to take care of. So this is already like a small mistake. Let's see if it's going to be important later on. But so far, the Super Witches look like they're going to go into that core, freezing up the super minions, and now we have a nice path into that town hall, and this is looking pretty solid so far.
Yeah, and he's just relying on the troops to take down the super minions. You see yourself there, Itsu, how important that is. You mentioned the queen, and she needed her ability to get through the enemy queen. Had he have damaged her, he might have still had the queen's ability. So you absolutely called that right, because moving to the back end of the attack, will that be crucial? I'm also looking at that jump spell, Itsu, and I'm not sure it's opening up everything he wanted.
Yeah, he's opening up the core, but did not open up for the queen. So the queen had no chance to kind of like rejoin forces with those super witches. And now it's all about the back. And we have the Valkyries at the bottom side trying to help. He's using actually the Royal Champion to push them inside to make sure that the Valkyries are going to help his own Royal Champion. He has 1 freeze left, which he has to use on that back end Single Inferno Tower. And maybe, just maybe, this is somehow still going to be enough. The Valkyries are following the Royal Champion. He has used the Royal Champion ability really soon. 3 hits of the Royal Champion, and then you can one-shot the Inferno Tower with the Royal Champion ability. And this is still looking doable. 50 seconds with that Valkyries, with those super skeletons. Maybe it could work.
It certainly could. I think if the Super Witches had have been attacking the upper wall so that the scattershot was tanked, it would have been so much better, because his Royal Champion could have potentially taken down the scattershot. 30 seconds left. There's a lot of damage. It's looking less likely here for me, Itsu. It's all about how quick these Super Witches can get through.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about time, especially with the Super Witches. The Super Witches beating that last wall. The giant skeletons doing great work on the outside of pushing everything in. And even though this might be a bit close on time, it is really good percentage either way. And we have 6 more seconds left. And Judo, this is looking like the next defense in this match. And Legion Divina is defending perfectly with the bases. 95% for Indian Clashers, though.
Ah, they certainly are, but I keep going back to them little changes that you said. Maybe if he had have damaged the queen, kept the queen ability, she stayed alive longer, 5 percentage points, and basically he had finished the base there. It wasn't strength that he failed on, it was that he didn't have enough time. So maybe that tiny little change could have been enough, and that is often the difference maker when you get to this level, those tiny little details.
Yeah, those small things. And especially I feel like with the queen being a lower hit point, like the defending queen, his own queen would have not had to use her ability, so he could have used the ability for the top side. With the queen not going for the core, the queen would have went to the top side, went to the enemy expo, went to the enemy scatter, maybe, just maybe, obviously it's just speculation, but maybe those defenses in the expo and scatter going down, it could have been a difference. Now we have the next attack coming in, and this one is going to be another Lalo, and this is going to be with lightning. So let's see what type of entry this is going to look like.
Well, I'm interested to see where he uses these lightning spells. He's brought 7 of them, which, like you said, means he either wants to take down the queen, or you see the Royal Champion standing there as well.
No.
He's going to just...
He missed the Inferno Tower with the Earthquake. He missed the Inferno Tower with the Earthquake.
I was a little bit confused what he was doing there, and yeah, he's totally missed the inside of the base, and that is massive, especially when it comes to the loon pathing for that air phase of the attack.
Oh no, this should never happen. Missing the Inferno Tower in that core, and that's like the key thing which you're going for with those lightnings. You want to take down the core Inferno Tower to get like less damage on your loons. And this is backfiring completely. I mean, the Warbreak did not work either, so the Warbreak did open the wrong compartment, so he has no access to the single Inferno Tower. And now it's going to be kind of interesting entry, because I feel like he wanted to go for the enemy Town Hall, which is not going to happen. Now he's having the heroes inside the core, and Judo, I have no clue how exactly he's going to try to save this.
I have no clue either. I think he just has to Lalo into the Town Hall and hope for the best at this stage, because like you said, missing that multi-target Inferno, that had a knock-on effect with then his hero dive. They didn't go where he needed. He is using the Lalo to the Town Hall, but look at the position of the Lava Hounds. They're all going the wrong way in the base as well. Oh my word, any traps, or the Tornado Trap, there it is, around the Town Hall, and it's an even bigger difficulty for him. What type of recovery can he do?
Yeah, the Town Hall is not going to be activated. Now finally one Loon is dropping onto the Town Hall so he can use the Warden ability. Perfect timing on that. I already thought he would forget about it, but he used that Warden ability nicely, making sure that he's even hitting that Royal Champion as well. And now it's all about the back end, making sure that the enemy Eagle is frozen up, and now he needs to have every single Loon powering through that back end. The Royal Champion is trying to take down those Lava Pups, but now those Lava Pups are tanking, and Royal Champion ability to take down some more buildings, but Judo, this is not what you would like to see if you're a Legion Divina fan.
It's certainly not, and both teams just fighting the other team off on defense here, just causing the mistakes. And well, maybe the pressure is getting to them a little bit, and the fact that it's such a highly anticipated war, and really somebody needs to step up and get the 3 stars. That adds a lot of pressure on you as a player, but really we're down to the last attack now. It is anybody's game. Indian Clashers a little bit ahead on percentage, but really moving into the last attack, that is just a tiny little marginal difference. Given the percentage attacks we have seen, Legion Divina could absolutely take this one.
Oh my god, this is so close. Especially before this attack, we talked about how Indian Clashers have the advantage going into the last couple of attacks, having the advantage with the percentage. They could not rely on a tie on stars. And now, surprisingly, it has completely switched around. Now it's up to Legion Divina. They have to 3-star, at least get like a really high percentage 2-star if Indian Clashers are going to, well, not get that 3-star in. So once again, we could have a crazy finish like we just had a couple of seconds ago. But if Indian Clashers are going to 3-star, they have it in their own hand. They are going to win this match.
And that's all they need to focus on, in my opinion. Indian Clashers need to just think of themselves. If they 3-star, they win. It is the Super Witches, and it is Krish Vishnoi, a very talented and experienced player himself. But can he pick this up for Indian Clashers and give them the victory?
Yeah, one thing which was really good by him right now, which he did right there, if you were wondering why exactly did he place a Loon over there, one thing which we see a lot of times right now is Tesla farm on the outside, which means that you put a lot of Tesla on the same spot just to surprise your enemy and have a lot of damage in one place. And this is definitely really strong against the Warden Walk, because you're placing that just into that position and kind of like having him sit over there and take down some defenses and like defensive buildings. So Tesla farm is really effective, and that's why he tested that with his Loon, making sure there's no Tesla, no surprise for him, and that's done perfectly. So the next wave for him is most likely going into the Eagle. I'm not really sure, because the pathing into the Town Hall is not looking the best, but it feels like he's going to go into the Town Hall.
Yeah, it looks like he is. I've got to agree with you. The Grand Warden Walk hasn't really set things up fantastically for him, especially given the fact he hasn't funneled over to the other side. But it looks like maybe he's actually looping around. He is. There's the Super Wall Breaker, and then coming back in towards the Town Hall with only one jump spell to try and just split the Super Witches through the middle of the base. We do have the Air Sweeper continually pushing the healers back. That leaves some of the troops vulnerable temporarily, although that will go down, and hopefully he can push his Super Witches right into the center and start speeding things up here.
That king was placed so nicely, making sure the king is taking down the skeleton compartment. Now we have the P.E.K.K.A. with those wizards taking down the bottom side, and he still can place that Royal Champion. So we have, meanwhile, the Super Witches taking care of the core, now the Hawk Riders, and now the Royal Champion is getting placed into that enemy queen, making sure that she's taken down quickly. And we have even the Headhunter getting placed as well. So really nice planning on that attack.
I was going to say, I love the fact that that Headhunter came in as well, because despite having the Royal Champion there, it meant that the Royal Champion now has a good amount of health, still has the ability, and that could be crucial moving down into the last phase of this attack. A brilliant free spell allows the balloons in to chain the Royal Champion's ability through the Inferno Tower to the Wizard Tower. It looks ever so promising here for Krishvish Noi as he moves to the final moments, but is time going to be the defining factor, Itsu?
26 seconds only left, and we have the Queen with her ability spawning even more troops with those archers trying to help everything. We have some storage at the bottom side. We have the baby dragon over there working. We have the heroes finishing off the top side. We have 10 seconds left, and it's all about the bottom right side. The Queen is changing her mind, going to support the bottom troop, and this Judo is looking like a 3-star. So Indian Clashers has done it. They have done it, and get and move into the next round.
Securing the victory in style. He was saving onto the final wizard, wondering whether to deploy it to the left or the right. Ultimately, it didn't matter. He had troops in every different angle, and that was part of his plan. He was very careful with the remaining troops to make sure he got the 3 stars with the time, and that is something with the Super Witches you always need to take into consideration, because it can be a slow attack. But as you mentioned, Itsu, Krishvish Noi has won this war for the Indian Clashers, and it's all just for picking their confidence up, moving into this year's World Championships for Legion Divina, and let's see if they can get a 3-star to finish off this war.
This would be so good for them, like keeping the momentum high, not like going down with only 1 troop, but that would be not the way we would like to see them. And they're choosing the Inferno Dragons for their last attack, which is kind of surprising. We talked about how strong the strategy is, and especially that it's kind of like a quick planning strategy, so you do not need too much planning on that end, which is good as a first strategy, like a first attack strategy, which is huge over there, giving your team an advantage of giving you more time to plan. We have the Inferno Dragons getting placed into that base with the vulnerability, so pretty the same routine as we saw already a couple of times, and still we have that town on the back end, so he's going to send in the blimp at some point. Let's see if that's going to be baited, because he has not a lot of options to recover if that's going to fail.
Yeah, and I like the precision here with some of the spells as well. The poison spell that was used for the clan castle troops, clipping the Archer Queen as well, just to slow her down if nothing else. He did manage to get through to the town hall, take that down with ease, and he has a good spread of Inferno Dragons here, Itsu. What an exciting finish to this war. It's such a shame that they weren't able to pull out 3 stars like this earlier on, because it could have flipped things around. Legion Divina showing you exactly what they have in store for the upcoming year with a 3-star of their own. Wow, what a closing couple of attacks to this war, but it is going to be Indian Clashers that take the victory, Itsu. And I want to break down their first 3-star that got the war done in a little while. What a war that one was.
Yeah, winner Indian Clashers, such a good finish for them.